Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Didye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, Text 34 onwards. Prahlad Maharaj is praying to Lord Nrsimhadev. Tat sambhava kavirato anyad pashyamanas swam bijam atmani tatam sabahir vichintaya navinda dabda shattam apsu nimajjamano jate ankure katham uhopalabhet bijam. From that great lotus flower, Brahma was generated, but Brahma certainly could see nothing but the lotus. Therefore, thinking you to be outside, Lord Brahma dove into the water and attempted to find the source of the lotus for 100 years. He could find no trace of you, however, for when a seed fructifies, the original seed cannot be seen. This is the description of the cosmic manifestation. The development of the cosmic manifestation is like the fructification of a seed. When cotton is transformed into thread, the cotton is no longer visible. And when the thread is woven into cloth, the thread is no longer visible. Similarly, it is perfectly correct that when the seed that had generated from the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu became manifested as the cosmic creation, one could no longer understand where the cause of the cosmic manifestation is. Modern scientists have tried to explain the origin of creation by a chunk theory, but no one can explain how such a chunk might have burst. The Vedic literature, however, explains clearly that the total material energy was agitated by the three modes of material nature because of the glands of the Supreme Lord. In other words, in terms of the chunk theory, the bursting of the chunk was caused by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one must accept the Supreme Cause, Lord Vishnu, as a cause of all causes. So Brahmaji went down into that to the stem of the lotus flower to look for his source. What is he here for? What is he supposed to do? Where did he come from? But he went all the way to the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu, but still he could not understand things. And then he came back up and just sat on the lotus flower. But this is how the creation is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. Not as Prabhupada says, the modern scientists say, oh, it all happened by a big bang. And even the scientists don't explain where did that chunk come from? How did the big bang happen in that chunk? And how many times we have seen if somebody throws a bomb at some place and a big blast happens, do we have destruction or do we have construction afterwards? So scientists, they just say something and we all just believe it. Yes, it's coming from the great scientists, so it must be true. No. Why is it true? Whatever the Vedic literature says, that is absolutely true. Because then there is no ifs and buts in that. And many times, this is what people who don't have faith, they ask, okay, so have you seen that lotus? Have you seen the navel of Garbhodaksha Vishnu or the stem of that lotus flower? No, I haven't seen that. But it is mentioned in Bhagavatam, so it is true. That's all. I mean, if people ask me, I can, have you seen that chunk? Have you seen the blast happening in the chunk? How did the scientists figure it out? Were they recording it? There are no answers for this. It's all about faith. And we have faith in the Vedic scriptures. Just like I once asked a person, they were arguing with me on the topic of faith. I said, have you been to country like Mauritius? They said, no. I said, do you know there is a country like Mauritius? Yeah. Do you know there must be a president or prime minister of Mauritius? Yeah. Do you know who he is? No. So if you go on the internet and search, somebody say, okay, person XYZ is president of Mauritius, would you believe it? Yeah, because it's on the internet. I said, how would you believe everything that is on the internet? You never met, you have never been to Mauritius, you never met president of Mauritius, and you will just believe anybody. If they put a picture of anybody, and you will just believe that, yes, it's a president of Mauritius. I said, this is faith, and we believe whatever Bhagavatam says. So we believe because the person who has written Bhagavatam, Vedvyas, or compiled it, and the person who is speaking Bhagavatam, Shukdev Goswami or Sut Goswami, they all are fully self-realized sages. They're not ordinary persons like you and me, fully self-realized sages. And if in that assembly of Shukdev Goswami, there are sages like Narad Muni and Vasisht Muni and Gautam and so many different sages are sitting, Vedvyas is there, Shukdev Goswami is speaking, Parikshit Maharaj is there. So if they are sitting and listening to Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is not recorded that they had any objections or any clarification about anything they asked. So everything that is mentioned is absolutely truth. It's not even relatively truth. It's absolute truth. It's simple as that. Those who don't have faith, those who don't want to believe, well, that's their choice. What can you do? What can we do? Text 35. Satvatma yone rati vismit ashito abjam kalena tivra tapasa parishuddha bhava tvam atma nish bhuvi gandham iva piya sukshmam bhutendriyashaya may vitatam dadarsha. Lord Brahma, who is celebrated as Atma Yoni, having been born without a mother, was struck with wonder. Thus he took shelter of the lotus flower, and when he had been purified after undergoing severe austerities for many hundreds of years, he could see that the cause of all causes, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was spread throughout his own body and senses. Just as aroma, although very subtle, is perceived in the earth. Here the statement of self-realization, Aham Brahmasmi, which is interpreted by Mayavad philosophy to mean I am the Supreme Lord. But that's not the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. It is explained. The Supreme Lord is the original seed of everything. Janmadi asya yata. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Thus the Supreme Lord extends everywhere, even throughout our bodies. Because our bodies are made of material energy, which is the Lord's separated energy. One should realize that since the Supreme Lord spreads throughout one's body, and since the individual soul is a part of the Supreme Lord, everything is Brahman. Sarvam kalam idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman means everything is spiritual. This realization was achieved by Lord Brahma after he was purified, and it is possible for everyone. So after he was purified means after he did his tapasya, then he realized who he is. And Prabhupada said it is possible for everyone. Because ultimately We all are spirit souls. We all are part and parcel of Krishna. And it is Krishna's, or the intent of the whole creation is for our rectification, for our purification. Nothing else. When one is completely in knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi, he thinks, I am part of the Supreme Lord. My body is made of his material energy, and therefore I have no separate existence. Yet, although the Supreme Lord is spread everywhere, he is different from me. This is the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bhed Tattva. An example given in this regard is that the aroma within the earth. In the earth, there are aromas and colors, but one cannot see them. See, the fragrance or the colors are there in earth. We don't see them. How do we see them? We find that when flowers grow from the earth, they appear with different colors and aromas, which they have certainly gathered from the earth, although in the earth we cannot see them. So nicely explained. So we plant the seed of rose flower and the plant comes out and then the rose flowers are there. Or we plant the seed of jasmine, same earth, but seed is different and the color of the flower is different, the texture is different, the aroma is different. So somebody can say it's because of the seed, but the seed without earth cannot produce anything. So the genetic code of seed is different for rose or jasmine, but even the plant comes out of the plant of this cannot come out of the seed without earth, and the plant then absorbs whatever it needs from earth to manifest different color flowers or different aromas in the flowers, or for the fruit trees, whether it is mango tree or a guava tree or an apple tree, it will just bring out different fruits with different taste. But the earth is the same. An intelligent man, however, can see the Supreme Lord existing everywhere. Andantarastha Paramanu Jayantarastham. The Lord is within the universe and within the atom by his different energies. This is the real vision of the Supreme Lord for the intelligent man. Brahma, the first created being, became the most intelligent person by his tapasya, austerity, and thus he came to this realization. We must therefore take all knowledge from Brahma, who became perfect by his tapasya. So that person, Brahmaji, he became perfect by his tapasya, and in his disciplic succession, if we get the knowledge, means that knowledge has to be perfect. It's not coming from some conditioned soul, whether he is a scientist or whether he is anybody else. It's not coming from that. Evam sahasravadanaangri shira karoru nasadya karana nayana bharana yudanayam mayamayam sadupalakshita sannivesham drishtva mahapurusham mapamudam virinchaha. Lord Brahma could then see you possessing thousands and thousands of faces, feet, hands, heads, thighs, noses, ears, and eyes. You were very nicely dressed, being decorated and bedecked with varieties of ornaments and weapons. Seeing you in the form of Lord Vishnu, your symptoms and form being transcendental, your legs extending from the lower planets, Lord Brahma achieved transcendental bliss. Lord Brahma, being completely pure, could see the original form of the Lord as Vishnu, having many thousands of faces and forms. This process is called self-realization. Genuine self-realization consists not of perceiving the impersonal effulgence of the Lord, but seeing face to face the transcendental form of the Lord. As distinctly mentioned here, Lord Brahma saw the Supreme Lord as Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Arjuna also saw Krishna in the same way. Therefore, he told the Lord, Param Brahma, Param Dham. You're the Supreme Brahman, the ultimate, the supreme abode and purifier, the absolute truth and the eternal divine person. The Lord is Param Purusha, the supreme form, Purusham Shashvatam. He is everlastingly the supreme enjoyer. It is not that the impersonal Brahman assumes a form. On the contrary, impersonal Brahman effulgence is an emanation from the supreme form of the Lord. Upon being purified, Brahma could see the supreme form of the Lord. The impersonal Brahman cannot have heads, noses, ears, hands, and legs. This is not possible, for these are attributes of the Lord's form. So Brahmaji saw the Lord form, and this is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. He saw your original form having thousands of faces and forms and heads and hands and noses and ears and legs. Because that was the universal form of the Lord. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not the universal form, but the Sahasra Shirsha form of the Lord. The word Maya Mayam means spiritual knowledge. This is explained by Madhvacharya. Maya Mayam Jnana Swarupam. The word Maya Mayam, describing the Lord's form, should not be taken to mean illusion. Rather, the Lord's form is factual, and seeing this form is the result of perfect knowledge. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Bahunam Janmanamante. The word Jnanavan refers to one who is perfectly in knowledge. Such a person can see the personality of Godhead, and therefore he surrenders unto the Lord. The Lord's being symptomized by a face, nose, ears, and so on is eternal. Without such a form, no one can be blissful. The Lord, however, is Satchidananda Vigraha, as stated in Shastra. When one is in perfect transcendental bliss, he can see the Lord's supreme form, Vigraha. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya says, Lord Brahma saw that as aromas and colors spread throughout the earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead pervades the cosmic manifestation in a subtle form. And Lord Brahma, after seeing that form of the Lord, he composed Brahma Samhita, where every shloka in the end is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Prajami. Oh Govinda, you're the Adi Purush, original person, and I respect you or I worship you. So the Lord has a form, is a transcendental form. He has ears and hands and heads and legs, just like our form, but our form is made of material elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. Lord's form is made of Sat, Chitta, and Ananda. It's completely spiritual. Tasmai Bhavana Hayesh Rastunavam Hi Vibrad Vedadruhva Vati Balo Madhukata Bhakyam Atva Nayachyuti Ganashcha Rajastamascha Sattam Tava Priyatamam Tanum Amananti. My dear Lord, when you appeared as Hayagriva with the head of a horse, you killed two demons known as Madhu and Kata, who were full of the modes of passion and ignorance. Then you delivered the Vedic knowledge to Lord Brahma. For this reason, all the great saints accept your forms as transcendental, untinged by material qualities. So he had appeared earlier also. I agree with the head of a horse. So for him coming as Narasimhadeva with the head of a lion is no big deal. The Supreme Personality of Godhead in his transcendental form is always ready to give protection to his devotees. As mentioned herein, the Lord in the form of Hagrid killed two demons named Madhu and Keta when they attacked Lord Brahma. Modern demons think that there was no life in the beginning of creation, but from Srimad Bhagavatam we understand that the first living creature created by the Supreme Personality of Godhead was Lord Brahma, who is full of Vedic understanding. Unfortunately, those entrusted with distributing Vedic knowledge, such as the devotees engaged in spreading Krishna consciousness, may sometimes be attacked by demons. But they must rest assured that demoniac attacks will not be able to harm them, for the Lord is always prepared to give them protection. Of course, sometimes it looks like the demons have become victorious, or they have overpowered devotees, but ultimately Lord will always protect. Just like these days, looks like lots of unrest or riots are going on in South Africa, and our Durban temple was also attacked. But the deities and the devotees just carried the deities to some safe place, and the deities are there now. Yes, the temple is attacked. Temple is in bad situation. But for some reason, the Lord wanted this to happen. The devotees of the Lord are always ready to spread knowledge by which one may understand the Lord through Krishna consciousness. But the demons, being unable to understand the Supreme Lord, are full of ignorance and passion. Thus, the Lord, whose form is transcendental, is always ready to kill the demons. By culturing the mode of goodness, one can understand the position of the transcendental Lord and how the Lord is always prepared to remove all obstacles from the path of understanding Him. So Madhu and Kato, the two demons who are of course the demons are always in the mode of passion and ignorance. And the Lord being transcendental, He killed them. So sometimes it's also, if we look at it figuratively, so mode of passion and ignorance can steal the knowledge or cover up the knowledge. Knowledge is also transcendental. The real Vedic knowledge is transcendental. So for time being, it can be covered over. But the Lord is there to protect, to give that knowledge back at the right time and the right place. Because without knowledge, we cannot make progress. We just can't. By culturing the mode of goodness, one can understand the position of the transcendental Lord and how the Lord is always prepared to remove all obstacles. In summary, whenever the Lord incarnates, He appears in His original transcendental form. Yada yada hi dharmasya. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharat and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. It is simply foolish to think of the Lord as being originally impersonal, but accepting a material body when He appears as a personal incarnation. This is what Mayavadis believe in. They say originally everything is impersonal, but whenever the Lord or whenever there is time, the Lord, there is some vikar or some transformation happens in the impersonal, and then the person comes out of that. It just, they believe it like that, and there's no logical explanation. How can from nothing or from light a person shows up? Vaishnava philosophy is completely opposite. The original is a person, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's what Prabhupada always says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And His bodily effulgence is this impersonal Brahm Jyoti. And whenever there is time for Him to appear, He just comes to perform His pastimes in different forms. Whenever the Lord appears, he appears in his original transcendental form, which is spiritual and blissful. But unintelligent men, such as Mayavadis, cannot understand the transcendental form of the Lord, and therefore the Lord chastises them by saying, Avajananti Mamura. Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. Whenever the Lord appears, whether as a fish, a tortoise, a hog, or any other form, one should understand that he maintains his transcendental position, and that his only business, as stated here, is hatva, to kill the demons. The Lord appears in order to protect the devotees and kill the demons. Since the demons are always ready to oppose Vedic civilization, they are sure to be killed by the transcendental form of the Lord. So all we as neophyte, as fledgling devotees, all we have to do is carry on with our devotional service and try to preach. And then at this right time, the Lord will, either he will appear, or he will send his representative, or he'll just make the preaching flourish. He has already appeared in the form of his holy name. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also he has appeared, but also he has appeared in the form of his holy name. So all we have to do is spread this holy name far and wide, all over the world, at least in our societies or in our neighborhood. And then let the Lord, his holy name is also transcendental, and let that transcendental holy name kill not the demons, but the demoniac consciousness, demoniac mentality. And then everybody can become a devotee, and as Prabhupada has explained earlier, this material world will also become Vaikuntha. Okay, so I guess we can stop here. See anybody has any questions or comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna, please accept mine.
Prabhuji, there are so many points. But from the previous verse, I wanted to understand what Lord Brahma's is teaching. So it mentioned. So how can we take the teachings from Lord Brahma?
Well, those teachings came in the disciplic succession. So he gave it to Narad Muni. Narad Muni preached to Vedvyas. And then further down, so in the succession, we got that in the Brahmada Gaudiya Vaishnava Samprada.
Yes, understood. Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, so we can stop here. You all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Krishna Prabhuji, Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Prabhuji.